Welcome, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor. We are doing our virtual tailgate with the top NFL influencers for sports news analysis. Join us every Sunday here for a virtual tailgate. This is massive. Together, all of us, real advice. No more cookie cutter BS. This is it. All the top NFL YouTubers in one spot. The best of the best from Arizona, from the Cowboys, from the Steelers. The best of the best. News, injury analysis, breaking news, everything here. Now, listen, guys, the stadiums are going to be half empty this year, or you could say half full if you're being optimistic. You can virtual tailgate with us here on YouTube, so make sure you guys smash that subscribe button. Leave your questions below for the ambassadors in the comments as the ambassadors come on. Today, we're going to do a round the league virtual tailgate, getting some roster cuts, information, training camp news, everything you need to know right from the source. I'm going to get to some questions in the comments because it is Fan to Fan Network. This is about you guys. Guys, I'm excited. I mean, we are less than a week away from kickoff. Pat Mahomes, Watson, game time. We're ready to go. And we're going to start this off with a negative note. We're going to talk injuries here. And I hate to say negative, but we got to roll over to Scott the Doc, our physical therapist and our doctor. What's going on, Scott?
Scott the Doc here with just a couple injuries around the league. We got David Montgomery, right? We started talking about him last week. He dodged a bullet. Non-contact injury, but it was just a groin strain. 2 to 4 weeks, he should be go. Melvin Gordon, the running back from the Broncos, he had a bit of a rib strain, no fractures or anything like that. He should be ready to go for week 1. They're just going to let those ribs rest up a little bit and heal. Trey Burton, the tight end for the Colts, he had a calf strain. It was only a grade 1. So he's looking at about 2 to 3 weeks he'll be out. Look for Doyle to get some increased touches. Mike Williams, the wide receiver from the Chargers, he had an AC joint surgery. That's going to take a little while to heal. We're looking at still 2 to 3 more weeks. Look for him to return probably the end of September. Miles Sanders, the running back from the Eagles, grade 1 hamstring strain. He should be fine for week 1. They'll probably kind of limit his carries and bring him back slowly but steadily, but he will be there for week 1. And another Eagle, Jalen Reagor, the wide receiver, he had a slight labrum tear in his shoulder. That one is a tricky one. It's not going to need surgery, but it is going to need some time to calm down. It's really just going to be a matter of how much he can tolerate. Look for 3 to 4 weeks on his return. That's it for Fan to Fan Network's injury report. Check out the website, Fan to Fan Network, for all of your injury reports, and we will be putting up stuff as they happen during the week.
Thanks, Scott the Doc. It looks like you're on the beach somewhere. Go enjoy the sun. You are free to go, and we'll see you every Sunday breaking down news notes. By the way, real quickly, Todd Gurley's knees. Everyone's bugging me because I love Todd Gurley. As you can see, I'm not a Falcons fan, but I'm wearing a Falcons hat. Love me some Todd Gurley. He's my man crush this year. How are the knees before you go? Any word?
Going to be fine, man. He's got a little bit of degenerative arthritis in there, and that just happens as we age. For him, it happened a little bit earlier in his career, but he had a lot of wear and tear from playing football all his life. So he's going to be just fine this season. The knees are going to be good to go, barring any major injuries that like an ACL or something.
All right, man. Scott the Doc, thank you. I appreciate it. We're going to move over here because we left this guy last time. So let's talk about Mike. Mike, what's going on? AZ, Arizona. What's going on, AZ? Speaking of knees, how are Kenny and Drake's knees going to be holding out this year?
What is going on, Joe? How are we doing, man? It's good, man. Honestly, Kenny and Drake is fine. I know there was this whole big hoopla of Kenny and Drake happening, like his knee, he's in a boot. He's fine. Don't worry about it. He's going to be playing week 1 against the San Francisco 49ers, and I couldn't be any more excited. Now, we did have some important roster cuts that I wanted to go ahead and talk about, if that's okay with you. Eno Benjamin has made the list. I know you're a super fanboy about Eno Benjamin. He is in the cut. You're good.
He made it?
On the team.
Yes. Eno. Yeah. I like him. Exactly. Look out. He's my sleeper.
So super stoked about it. I mean, obviously, I think it's going to be Kenyon Drake, Chase Edmonds, and then Eno Benjamin. That's just my opinion, but who knows how Cliff Kingsbury is going to go ahead and start them. But some notable cuts for the Arizona Cardinals is linebacker Evan Weaver that we just picked up in the 2020 draft. Hakeem Butler, which is a big frame, 6'5", 220 plus, big target, red zone threat. He unfortunately got hurt last year in his rookie year, and he ended up getting cut. There's a lot of teams looking into getting Hakeem Butler, hopefully. And then Chris Strevler, which is known as a Swiss Army knife, kind of like Taysom Hill-esque. He made it to the team as well. So I don't know, man. We're just super hyped up here in the Red Sea. super excited about.
Got some comments here from YouTube. Rise Up, Red Sea Gonzalez says, let's go Cardinals. Woohoo, a lot of people happy. Big Cat is not here today, guys. He will be back next week. He was on vacation. Give the guy a break. He's got a lot of energy. Big Cat will be back next week. All right, we got to move quickly here. Anything else we need to know?
That's it, man. Thank you so very much for having me on. Rise Up, Red Sea. We're going to have good things, man. That's it.
Perfect. Thank you. Let's get on Ian from the Jets Central. I think he's in the middle of a move here. So this is real advice, man. You're not going to get any white collar people wearing a suit and tie, cutting circulation off to their brain. We're going to get real people here. Where's Ian? What that moving van? I did this like a month ago. What's going on, Ian?
Joe, what's going on, man? How are you doing?
Good. Don't you hate driving those things? They're so sluggish, and when you hit the gas, it's like, and it's like it's going, but it's not really moving. It's a lot of bark, no bite. Those trucks.
Yeah, exactly. It's super expensive to fill up too. It's crazy.
All right, so tell us. Well, I mean, not that I really give a shit about your Jets, but I mean, you guys have no receivers. But what is going on with the Jets? Did Le'Veon Bell make the cut? I know you guys were doing some weird things, getting Frank Gore more reps in training camp. What's going on here? Who made the cut? Who didn't? What's going on? What should we need to know in fantasy and reality? Please let us know.
Yeah, so I mean, they actually listed the depth chart online, and they did say that Le'Veon Bell, even though he had somewhat of a sluggish camp and a slow kind of overall training camp, he's still going to be the running back 1. And then Frank Gore is going to be running back 2. And then LaMichael Pirine is going to be on the team, but he's dealing with an injury. But as far as like a huge notable cut, it's Nate Hairston, the cornerback, who actually started 11 games for the New York Jets last season, which I thought was crazy because cornerback is a really, really, really weak position for us as it is. So I thought that was, the biggest name that was just, surprising. It shocked me for sure.
Right. So anything else we need to know, or are we good right now? I know you're in the middle of a move there. So, I mean, you came on. We appreciate you. This is, again, real people, real advice. So anything else we need to know that, crucial for people, fans, fantasy guys, this, drafting this weekend?
Yeah. So if you're looking at the Jets wide receivers, I mean, I know you just took a shot at them every show. You got to take a shot at the Jets. But if you look at Adam Gase's system, it's a lot of short passing, getting the football out of his quarterback's hands quickly, whether it's, Cutler, Tannehill, Darnold last season. So expect guys like Denzel Mims, who's now healthy, guys like Rashad Perryman, Chris Hogan, to step up and kind of have a lot of, I don't know how many touchdowns, but yards after catch, keep an eye on.
Hey, listen, I'm going to ease up on your Jets when they do something. How about that? When they actually perform on the field. So this year, maybe this is Darnold's year. Maybe this is the year.
Fair enough. We'll see.
All right, let's move on here. Thanks for being on, and good luck with the move. Drive safely out there.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
All right, so let's move on here. Let's get our new guy here. He's the new Buccaneers guy, Liam. What's up, Liam? And I got to talk to this guy because, again, we are talking about Buccaneers a lot with the whole Fournette thing. Can you come on here, Liam? What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going, Joe? Thanks for having me.
Good. We actually got a shot. I think it was AZ Sports fan sneezing, and we got a little shot of him there. So, all right, listen, AZ, so we got you there. Okay, let's go on. Liam, what's happening?
Not much, man. Just real excited. Season's right around the corner. Leonard Fournette's the big signing here a couple days ago. Hasn't officially signed yet, but should happen in the next couple days. So exciting, man. As far as notable cuts, nothing too crazy. Matt Gay lost his spot. Ryan Succop's now our new kicker. Dare Gumbawale was the running back that lost his spot thanks to the Fournette signing. And then veteran center A.Q. Shipley, who's with Arizona, he got cut. I'd expect him to possibly get re-signed in the next few days. Nothing too crazy, though.
Okay.
Nothing crazy on the injury train.
I got a question for you. We talked about this off the air. A lot of fantasy fans are asking this question. So this is a very important question. I'm going to ask it to you. Is it Godwin? Is it Evans? Because you're investing a second or third round pick on either one of these guys. I think Brady will only gravitate to one guy. And again, I want everybody to hear straight from the source because you're studying the team or you're watching training camp. Who is Brady gravitating to more? Where do you see that? How does this end up here? Who gets more volume?
It's so hard to tell, man. It's such a toss-up. I think they're both going to have a great year. I think they'll both have at least 70 grabs. I think I would lean more towards Godwin.
Okay.
I think, especially in PPR leagues, he's going to catch more passes. I think he'll have more yards. But then as far as touchdowns are concerned, I think Mike Evans is a little bit more of a red zone target. It's so hard, man, with Tampa. we just have so many weapons with Gronk and Howard. I mean, now even with running backs, I wouldn't see Fournette being more than an RB 2 to 3 because Rojo's going to get his touches. As far as Godwin and Evans are concerned, I would lean more towards Godwin.
Cool.
He had a couple hundred more yards last year. I think he's going to be Brady's guy. Brady likes to get the ball out quick. In an Arians offense, the ball is going to get pushed vertical quite a bit, and that's
right.
More of Mike Evans' thing. But I would say Godwin, man.
Thanks,
Godwin. But it's right here. It's so close, but I would lean Godwin.
And by the way, get the 16-round draft solution. If you are drafting this weekend or tonight, it's at thefantasyfootballcounts.com. I talk about avoiding both these guys because you're investing a second or third round pick. You should be getting a running back in those second or third rounds because you're basically flipping a coin on who's going to get the volume. Even a guy who studies the team doesn't know who the guy is. So that makes you question, should I waste a second or third round pick on a maybe? I don't think so. There's way too many targets to go around. So thank you very much, Liam, for being on. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks, Joe. I really, really appreciate you having me.
Thank you. Let's talk about Ryan Tracy from the Chiefs. Are you here? Ryan, where are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. We got to know Chiefs, man. There's a lot of moves going around, some free agents lingering. I love Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I get giddy about him in the first round. What's going on? Is he going to be the guy? Are they going to bring somebody else in? What's the volume like? And also any roster cuts, updates you want to give us? Run wild. Let us know what's going on with the Chiefs.
You and the rest of Chiefs Kingdom are pretty excited about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. His fit is nearly perfect. He will be the primary back. He will share some time in order to keep his workload down, keep him fresh with Darrell Williams, a guy that put in a lot of good plays, another LSU back from last season that they're really excited about. He's got pass pro down, very effective in the pass game as well. And so they feel like they can spell Clyde a little bit with Darrell and keep that ball rolling. They had a really interesting camp, a lot of injuries early. They got healthy here right at the end. 2 UDFAs end up making this 53-man roster, both out of Missouri. One is Yasser Durant, who's going to be the backup swing tackle, along with Mike Remmers, who's going to be that kind of 6th offensive lineman that'll fill in all across the offensive line. And then Deshaun Wharton, that's going to take the place of Mike Pennell, who's on a suspension the first 2 games. Beyond that, the really interesting part is the Chiefs chose to keep 5 cornerbacks, just 5. 2 of them are rookies, and 1 is a second-year player in Rashad Fenton. This is a young secondary group outside of Tyrann Mathieu, who's going to lead the entire thing. They are looking for him to really spell and lift up those young players. It's going to be interesting, especially week 1 against Deshaun and what they're going to try to send at him. This is an interesting start to what could be a hiccup early and what they're going to have to recover from. Beyond that, the team looks like they're carrying right about $7 million in cap space. So picking up anybody out there on the street at this point is a long shot. This is kind of the bare minimum that Brett Veach likes to run at. There could be a restructure in the making, though. A number of players have discussed that, which could free up a little bit of space, but don't expect to see any major signings of these other flotsam and jetsam that get cut from other rosters unless it's specifically a cornerback that they feel can play in the SPAG system and bring not only coverage abilities, but ball skills. That's what they're looking for in order to increase those turnovers and get some PVUs. On the offensive side of the ball, a lot going on there. They kept 4 tight ends. This is going to be a lot more 12, 22 personnel than you're used to seeing out of the Chiefs, at least early in the season. Again, to try to prepare Clyde Edwards-Helaire to become the bell cow probably next season, they're going to give him as many options as possible.
Nice. Okay, so let me ask you this before I let you go. Who is the wide receiver 2? Is it going to be Hardman or what's going on? Is it going to be Watkins? Like, is it just going to spread the ball around?
They're going to continue to line up Watkins mostly at the X, but they train all their wide receivers to really mix it up, and that's how they attempt to get their mismatches. You're going to see Hardman behind the line of scrimmage some again, and everybody's going to key off of Hill, obviously. So the question becomes not only is where's Watkins going to be, most likely outside, but how are Hardman and Travis Kelce going to work together in between the hashes? That's where they're looking to attack the ball. They're looking more so at getting those crosser routes at the intermediate, the 12 to 18 level, because they know that they're expecting to see more cover 4, more deep coverage with 2 safeties high. That's what they're trying to combat.
Man, I mean, that's why you're the best Chiefs analyst on the planet. Thank you for being on, man. Make sure you guys go to fantofannetwork.com under the Chiefs tab and subscribe to his channel and follow everything on his page on Fan to Fan Network. Thank you very much, Ryan Tracy. What's going on? Thank you. All right, next one I see here. All right, but let's bring on Houston here, Ruben, because you guys are going to be going head to head next week on this upcoming week, Thursday. But the matchup. So we got to go right to the prime matchup. What's going on, Ruben? Let us know what's going on with camp, roster cuts, and how's my guy, my man, David Johnson looking?
Well, first things first, Deshaun Watson just got paid $160 million, making $39 million a year. He gets a 4-year extension, so he's going to line himself up to get a payday, in a couple years. We love the contract, and everybody knows in Houston, Deshaun is our savior. As far as roster cuts, a surprising cut: Jordan Thomas, a tight end we drafted 2 years ago in the 3rd round, broke our touchdown rookie for tight end record. He was cut today, so that means that they are giving faith in the water polo tight end Kahale Warren. We've also added former Seattle running back CJ Price to the Houston Texans practice squad. But as far as that, no major cuts, no surprise cuts. The offense is going as it should. David Johnson is looking, he's looking great. Every scrimmage, he has been scoring. He has been lining out wide. He's been lining on the inside. And, he just looks pretty much unstoppable. But then again, the Houston Texans defense wasn't that good last year. But David Johnson is looking spectacular. Deshaun Watson is loving his new targets. We are kind of doing what the Chiefs are doing, spreading the ball around, and just giving our QB1 a bunch of weapons to go at.
Yeah, man, I'm beyond excited. I'm beyond excited to watch football, the Texans, and David Johnson out to prove the haters wrong, man. So thanks for the update, Ruben. We appreciate it, man. Means a lot.
KC, we're coming for you, baby.
Oh, there you heard it. There it is. I see Ryan smiling. There's going to be a lot of smack talk on Thursday. Make sure you guys subscribe to catch that. Our first battle. So it's going to be good. I want to see your points. I want to see why the Texans are going to win this week. I want to see why the Chiefs. Well, we know why the Chiefs are going to win. We want to see why the Texans are going to win. Let's put it that way. So, all right.
Going to win. Shock the NFL.
Shock the NFL. It's a good way. Set the precedent. Set the tone for the year. And congrats to Watson. I'm happy he got paid. All right. I see him here waiting in the ranks here. Doug Lee, another team that nobody really. Miami Dolphins are coming on. What's going on, Doug? Sorry to cut up here,
man.
I want to see some performance, and I think this is the year that the Dolphins actually do something. You know what I'm saying? What's happening with the Dolphins? Are they going to do something this year?
Yeah, definitely, man. They're making moves. They cut the few amount of people. Some of the big surprises: Tyshawn Render, an undrafted free agent they picked up that the Patriots loved. And they actually cut him, so I'm wondering if he'd make it through waivers. Benito Jones, Dervel Neto, Matt Cole, and Kirk Merritt, some top, undrafted wide receivers. But, Joe, I know the one you want me to talk about.
Yeah.
Josh Rosen got cut. They didn't trade Josh Rosen. They tried to trade Josh Rosen, and they ended up just cutting him.
Don't you feel bad for the guy with Arizona, what they did? Then he goes to the promise. Yes, I'm the start. No, I'm not. Right? It's terrible.
Yeah, and it's funny because a good amount of Dolphin fans are pretty upset that the Dolphins just cut Josh Rosen. But the way I see it is the Dolphins knew for a fact he was probably going to be sitting third. He was going to be an emergency quarterback. God forbid someone tests positive for COVID and we need a quarterback. So what they did with him is they were like, look, we're going to release you. Go find a starting position. Go to Jacksonville. Go somewhere where you have a chance to start. Because here on the Dolphins, he's going to be sitting behind Fitz, who's most likely going to start. And then if Fitz goes down, we all know it's going to be Tua. So it seems like cutting Josh Rosen was more of a let us help you by not holding you here on the Miami Dolphins.
Right. Well, man, I feel bad for him. Anything else we need to know? Ryan obviously getting the start, right? And I think, when does Tua take over?
It really does seem like as of right now. But again, Brian Flores is taking the book right from Bill Belichick and keeping everything so tight to his chest to the point where Tua didn't think the Dolphins were going to draft him because of how his interview went. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Tua starts week 1. But the way it seems like and the way camp is going, yeah, it really does seem like Fitz is going to start. He's going to be playing against Cam Newton and those Patriots week 1. And the Miami Dolphins yesterday made a trade with the Los Angeles Raiders for Lynn Bowden Jr., who they drafted this year in the 3rd round. And the Dolphins sent essentially their 4th back because we traded a 4th with them for Raekwon McMillan and swapped 5th and a 6th. So it seems like the Dolphins are adding a lot of Swiss Army knife type players to that offense, and it's gonna be a dangerous thing. A lot of people are underestimating these Dolphins, but don't be surprised they win Week 1 against the New England Patriots.
Let's put it this way. I'm not going to be wearing a Dolphins hat at any point this season. I really don't believe I will be so. But thanks, Dougley. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys follow my Fan to Fan Network under the tab for Team Ambassador of the Dolphins. Man, one of the best and greatest YouTubers out there and sports analysts for the Dolphins. Thanks for the inside information, man. Appreciate it.
I appreciate that. Fins up.
All right, man. Fins up. All right, let's roll to our. We just got to talk. We talked about Lynn Bowden, so let's get our Raiders guy here. Darian, where are you, sir? Darian in the house.
I'm right here, man.
What's going on? So Bowden gone. They just acquired. They had him, and then is it because of Josh Jacobs? Is he going to be getting more volume? What's the deal?
The reason for what I'm hearing out of the Raiders camp is saying that Lynn Bowden Jr. is not. He didn't have a great training camp at running back. But my understanding is that you drafted him as a running back, knowing that he's just a freak of an athlete. He could play multiple positions, a little bit from the spread or a little bit from the slot receiver, but he's just an athlete. You can't really put him in one position. So the Raiders try to put him in one position as a running back, and it didn't work out. So that just happened with Lynn Bowden Jr. And Jacobs is going to be the guy, but we're still looking for a power back. We didn't get Adrian Peterson. He went to Detroit. So I don't know what the Raiders are going to do at the power back position, because we do have Alec Ingo, but he's a fullback. So they might make him get some carries with Jalen Richard and I just don't know with the running back position. We're just so thin there. I just don't understand the trade for Lynn Bowden Jr. I was just so upset and pissed about that, because I did a whole article on him, why the Raiders should draft him. So the running back position is looking thin. I don't know if God forbid something happened to Josh Jacobs. Jalen Richard can't take all those carries. He just can't. He's not that type of back. So hopefully we can find someone in the actual, probably get Theo Riddick back. Oh, Devontae Booker is another one, but he can't take on a load as Josh Jacobs either. So Theo Riddick, hopefully we could get him back, put him on a practice squad and move him up or something of that nature. But we need some type of power back to back up Josh Jacobs.
No, we don't. This is good for fantasy, because I'm all over Josh Jacobs this year. I like it the way it is. Josh Jacobs will stay healthy. Keep optimistic.
Yeah, it's fine. Just God forbid anything happens to him. I just don't want him to get hurt like he did last year. Just God forbid. But some other surprising cuts was Demarius Randall, the safety that we had. That was a surprising cut, but they said that he wasn't performing well with that Raiders defense due to the fact that he wasn't even taking first team snaps at all. So they really like Jonathan. They really like Eric Harris, and they really like Jonathan Abram as the safeties back there with Jeff Heath as well. So it was kind of loaded on defense that a lot of people like Madre Harper, undrafted free agent, Javin White, undrafted free agent, was an Oakland fan and played at UNLV. He's going to end up getting back on the practice squad. Kyle Emmanuel from the Chargers, that was surprising, but we had so much depth in training camp at each position. We just wasn't able to keep everybody. So there's not really no other surprises out there but Lynn Bowden Jr. and Demarius Randall. Prince Amukamara, but we already expected that because it's Prince Amukamara. He just had not been great since he's been drafted out of Ohio State. So most likely that's what the Raiders is looking like now. Our 53-man roster. Shout out to Rico Gafford. He made the wide receiver position. And Nelson Aguilar. I thought Nelson Aguilar was going to get cut, but don't sleep on Nelson Aguilar when it comes to this offense. I think he's going to be a big key for our offense.
Well, thanks a lot, Darren. We appreciate it. There's your up to date. Let's go, Josh Jacobs, man. We appreciate it. Let's move on.
Go.
We're gonna go across the USA here and bring in the Steelers guy. What's going on, Chiseled Adonis? And can you do your intro again, Chisel? Are you here?
Oh yeah, I'm in here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't see you though. Are we just gonna go with there you are.
There we go.
So
all right.
so what
Now
are
I'm
you?
back.
The curious
Oh, no. See, you got to say it right. It's the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the chiseled Adonis.
Yeah, I can't say that if my life depended on it. So I'm going to let you.
Twister. You got to get a lot of water.
So what's going on with the Steelers camp? You seem a little choppy today. Is it a new camera or something like that, or an old camera?
No, it's still the same camera. I'm not too sure what's going on with the Wi-Fi, whatever the case may be. I mean, we're gonna have to roll with it and soldier through. But
we hear you well, though. That's the main thing. So, well, yeah. So, what is going on here, man? First of all, I don't want to interrupt your briefing. I just got to talk about one thing. I heard it. I've been reading a lot of the Steelers news, and I'm in a bunch of Facebook groups for the Steelers and all that. They're comparing Chase. Now, it depends if you're a Jordan guy or a LeBron guy. They're comparing Chase Claypool to LeBron James, and I think that's a good thing. So, can you give us a quick briefing? How good is Claypool looking, and then you get into your briefing, because I'm really curious because I got him in all my leagues. Please.
Well, pretty much, I understand the comparison because it's a huge guy. This guy's at 6'4", well over 230 pounds, but he runs a 4.4. So if LeBron were to go over and play, football, they would expect this to be the body type. And Chase Claypool, the way that we've been seeing him throughout, training camp, it really resembles what Calvin Johnson looked like in his rookie season. Now, I can't guarantee that's going to be the production, but I expect to see this guy go out there and light it up. I would hope, as I said prior, we're going to see 8 touchdowns. I expect to see that. As for yardage, probably about 800, but the guy's got all the intangibles to go out there and perform.
Love it, man. So what's going on with the roster cuts? Anything else we need to know? I think Switzer got cut, right? It's about time.
Yeah, Switzer got cut after he came out and said he plans to be the best slot receiver in the league, and he built his rapport with with Big Ben, and all he did was get the pink slip. So nobody knows what's going to happen with him. Well, I think moving forward.
I think it was the flexing. I saw a picture of him flexing with a 6-pack going like this. We talked about this, and now that's what you get for showboating. So I mean,
he's going to be very in shape. He's going to get all the receptions on Madden, but this upcoming season, he's going to have to go somewhere.
So yeah, what else is going on with the Steelers that we need to be aware?
We cut Dan McClutters finally. We were waiting the longest to get rid of this guy, and the emergence of Chris Wormley and also Carlos Davis really has aided in finally getting this guy off the roster. Kareth White was released as well. Jalen Samuels made the final cut to fill out that 4th running back spot. So we're going to be moving forward with James Conner, Jalen Samuels, McFarland as well, and then also Benny Snell at running back as well. Marcus Allen beat out that Antoine Brooks Jr. at safety, and then finally we're having with issues on our line with David DeCastro because he still is a bit hurt. Nobody's really too sure what the timeline of his return will be back, but he was able to restructure his contract and free up about $3.8 million. So outside of that, everything's looking good in Steelers camp.
I'm excited, man. Well, thanks for coming on. We appreciate you every week. So catch him here and go fanandfannetwork.com and check out the Steelers page. Thanks, Chiseled. I appreciate it.
As always.
All right, let's move back over west here because I see him in the ranks here. Law Nation, what's going on, man? One of the top ambassadors of the Cowboys in the world. Where are you, Law? This isn't Law Nation. This is the Seahawks. I see Seahawks. Where's Laws? Are you in the house?
Yes, I'm in the house. Can you guys hear me, see me?
We got you, sir. And I'm excited about those Cowboys and CD. Yeah, we see D Lamb. How's he doing?
CDTD. He's going out to the Rookie of the Year. That's what he's
wow
for.
That's bold. That's bold.
It's bold. But we got a little injury on the line though.
What happened?
Lyle Collins. He's expected to be on the IR. It first came out that he was out of shape, and now it's his hips that's going bad on him. So we're gonna roll out a Cam Irving. So I might have to reach out to the KC guy and see what Cam Irving could do for us.
Right.
Because that's where we picked him up from last year. But outside of that, we expected to put up some money against LA Rams or what have you, and I think that we're gonna give them the best we got.
Anything else we need to know about roster cuts or offense and Amari Cooper? Everyone looking good?
Oh, my goodness. Right now, Amari Cooper, he's okay. All of the wide receivers okay. The offense is okay outside of the front five, the offensive line. But my biggest reservation is the secondary. It's scary. We're going to roll out Diggs. He's going to be a rookie in training. He's going to go up against Cooper Kupp, and as well as I think we got to have Worley out there. So and Cheeto Awuzie. So we're not going to have an experienced secondary. So it may be a high-scoring game. And this guy named Jordan Lewis, he's still injured. He's on injury reserve too. So we're not looking in good shape as it relates to the secondary, but our front four is looking good.
Appreciate it, man. And when we're looking at Zeke, we're looking at Pollard getting integrated a lot more. Is it going to be more the Zeke show as per usual?
Oh no, they thinking on rolling out 2 running back sets. So
are you serious?
Tony Pollard, Tony Pollard to be rolling out as a wheel route. He's going to be playing inside the slot, and there's going to be a lot of crazy nuances going. But Ezekiel Elliott is still the focal point. Don't get it twisted, though.
Right, but I don't know if I'm going to see another 301 attempts. Am I? Probably not.
For Ezekiel Elliott's career, it'd probably be best that he don't.
Really? That's not good, man. That's why I'm kind of leaning a little bit.
From a fantasy point, it's not good.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That kind of concerns me a little bit. I've been kind of dodging him. I'm going Saquon early, then late I'm going kind of Jacobs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire type thing. But this is why you got to go robust RB strategy, and I talk about that. Did you get the 16-round draft solution law yet, or no?
No, I haven't gotten that yet.
We got to get you ready for your draft. So do you play fantasy or no?
Man, I think a toddler can beat me up.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on. We appreciate you. As per usual, we'll see you next Sunday, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Anytime.
All right. Well, Thursday, actually, because we got our preview show and our battle. So thanks, man. We'll see you soon. Appreciate it. All right, let's move on here. Let's go to Bosarowski and those Packers. What's going on with the Pack?
What's going on, Joe? Thanks for having me.
Man,
so, with cuts, nothing crazy. Jake Kumro got cut. He's a fan favorite. Everyone always loved him. Thought he'd be the next great.
I remember that. I saw some explosive plays. Yeah, I mean, I think, are they all in on Lazard now?
Oh, of course, Alien Lizard. Yes, Alien Lizard is number 2. They kept Malik Taylor. So this is an undrafted free agent from 2019 from Ferris State. Pretty much hasn't done anything. I'm wondering if he's just a placeholder right now, if they're going to go out and get someone like Hakeem Butler from Arizona, or they worked out Chester Rogers, who I think was on the Dolphins. The wide receiver room, they have their first 4. Their first 4 is Devontae, Alan Lazard, MVS, and Equinemius St. Brown. That's 100% their first 4. After that, kind of a gray area there. Right tackle's looking a little shaky. Brian Bulaga left for the San Diego or LA Chargers, and Billy Turner is supposed to start at right tackle, but he got hurt. And then Rick Wagner was hurt at the beginning of camp. He might be shaky. I think they should go out and sign Jared Valdir. They had him last year. He came in and helped out when Bulaga couldn't play, and he was a solid part of that offensive line. Last year for depth.
All right, so when we're looking at this, I just want to know when Dillon time is coming. AJ Dillon time. When's that happening?
The quads.
Yes, I want to see the quads.
I've gone on record saying I love AJ Dillon, and the Joe Mixon signing definitely doesn't help Aaron Jones. If he looks anywhere near $12 million, Packers are not re-signing him, guarantee that. But there's a lot of running backs that are going to be on the market next year. Jamal Williams is going to get some of the goal line carries to begin. Jamal Williams is still a solid back. I think as the year goes on and injuries happen and they want to keep every back fresh, I think AJ Dillon is going to take over those goal line carries by the middle of the year.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, man. We're going to get a rival. How about those Vikings? Why don't we get them on? Talk to them. How do you feel about them? Oh, we got a thumbs down here. Let's get
week one, man.
Let's get Nick on here with the Vikings. I'm talking about durability. How's Dalvin Cook looking and running backs and durability and everything? What's going on with the Vikings?
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Yeah, he's looking fine. They haven't really used him that much in practice, so it's been a lot of Madison, and Cook's kind of just been working slowly. So they're trying to keep him fresh. Still don't like that there's no contract extension for him yet, and that's going to linger into the season. I was hoping that money they freed up by restructuring Reef will give us a little bit of room there, but
is that going to be a problem during season? Is that going to be an issue for a potential holdout, or how is Cook like? I'm ready for week 1 from what I'm hearing, but is this going to be an issue if I'm drafting? I'm not, but if someone else is drafting in fantasy, could there be an issue, a possible holdout? What could happen here with the contract?
I think that would have happened by now. I don't think he's going to hold out. He's, it seems like he's doing everything right. He's goofing around with the teammates. He's being a good, good player, good team player. So I think he'll be there week 1.
What happens hypothetically? I gotta talk about this, okay? And I don't wish injury on anybody, and hope he doesn't get injured. Honestly, for fantasy, I talk fantasy, and I'm totally different character when I talk fantasy. I don't want to draft him. I don't trust him. Hasn't finished a season in 3 years. 4-game season 1, 11 games season 2, and I don't know, 13 or 14 last year. So what happens if, God forbid, he gets injured? I mean, this screws his entire career, does it not? Like, how can you even pay this guy if he gets hurt again. So it's make or break, figuratively and literally speaking, right, for this guy.
And it really is. And it's not if, it's when. I mean, he's gotten injured every single year. And they got capable backs behind him. Alexander Madison, he's ready to roll. Mike Boone's a capable back. So the fact that he was even going to hold out to start the preseason, he didn't really have a lot of leverage. So it's kind of surprising that he did that. But you're right. If he gets hurt, and what I heard, the Vikings actually offered him a pretty fair deal,
right,
that he turned down. So.
See, and again, when you go to this, and I want to talk to everybody, anyone could chime in. A lot of this has to do with ego. And again, he's a great player, great talent, but you haven't shown me anything. You haven't shown me you can finish a season. Finish a goddamn season and I'll pay you. But I understand, I think he's a better running back than Joe Mixon. I think he's a better running back than a lot of guys. Yet, I think could be, if healthy, is a better running back than Christian McCaffrey. But again, you're not healthy, and that's the issue. But again, if you see $9 million or $10 million, I would take that. I mean, drop the ego. You're going to get a little bit less than these guys, but you're going to get paid. Now, if you get hurt, you could be really screwed. And he didn't think about that, and hopefully he doesn't get hurt for his sake, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, I mean, anything else in the training camp news, cuts, anything we need to be aware of?
Yeah, as far as Vikings cuts go, they're not done. They cut all their backup safeties. So all they have is Anthony Harrison, Harrison Smith right now. So they'll be picking up somebody today. You got to think. And there's some names out there: Clinton Dix, Demarius Randall, Sean Davis. It was just shocking that they cut everybody who backed up those two guys. And then the one other surprise make was this undrafted rookie Dan Chisena. He had one career reception for Penn State, but he's a hell of a special teamer. So he made it over a guy like Alexander Hollins, who had a great camp, was just ripping it up, getting all the reviews, and they kept the special teamer.
Crazy. So anything else with the Vikings we need to know, or is that pretty more up to date?
That's it. I would expect some kind of signing today. They got to get another safety, so
perfect.
Closely.
Well, thanks, Nick. We appreciate it, man. Make sure you follow him. He and Matt are the brand ambassadors for the Vikings nationwide at Fan to Fan Network. We appreciate you being here right from the source. You heard it. Let's move on here. I see the 49ers. We've been talking a lot about injuries today, being aware, training camp cuts. Talk about injuries. What's going on with the 49ers? Mike, what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Listen, there is some big news coming from the 49ers campus, actually, at the wide receiver front. A lot of people worried about Deebo Samuel. And at the 53 roster down, 53 cut, they activated Deebo Samuel. So he is expected to be available very, very early in the season. They did not want him to go on that 6-week IR PUP list. So he will be back very soon. Also, the first-round draft pick, Brandon Ayuk, is expected to be back very, very early as week 1. So we could be seeing both of those guys on Sunday if they play their cards right.
Yeah, man. I mean, injury bug has hit you, and I'm happy that it hit you before the season. Hopefully you guys can work through that and be strong throughout the season, whereas if it happens through the season, then you're screwed. Hopefully you got it out of the way now and you can move forward, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. When it comes down to roster cuts, the only big surprises, and I'm doing surprise in air quotes, when you have a team that made it to the Super Bowl, you're not going to expect to add a lot of different people in there, right? But the big surprises were probably people who were drafted highly. We have some first and second round former draft picks that were let go of safety, Jonathan Cyprien. I heard the Vikings guy saying that they're looking for a safety. He was having a phenomenal camp, picking off Jimmy Garoppolo frequently and all the other quarterbacks as well. I wouldn't be surprised if someone snatched him up really quick. He was a second round pick. And then we have guys like, I know this is going to be laughed at, but Kevin White. They said Kevin White, the first round wide receiver that was picked by the Bears a couple of years ago, was having a phenomenal camp as well. They said he looked like the fastest, strongest guy out there, and the Niners let him go too.
Can I pause you? Oh, they let go of Kevin White?
Yeah.
Oh, I was kind of happy. He was the guy that had all those injuries, and he was really talented and nothing happened. That's the guy. I know that Kevin White, the Bears Kevin White.
Exactly.
I heard his story, and I really was rooting for this guy, and I felt bad because he was a top prospect coming out of college. Injuries plagued him, never got that start. When he signed, I was happy for. I didn't realize he just got cut. I feel bad for the guy, man. Honestly.
Yeah, and he was having a phenomenal camp too. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to bring him back now that they're allowed to stash veterans on the practice squad. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought him back in there.
I'm rooting for him, man. I'm genuinely rooting for him. So hopefully that happens. He gets back and he gets an opportunity, because a lot of players, you dedicate your whole life to this. You come out, you make the big leagues, and then you're plagued with injury and you never really go. It's such a shame. And then some people I don't know about his full story, but some people don't have fallback plans. So it's very interesting. Hopefully he makes the team. Anything else we need to know and up to date?
Yeah, I'll give you a little fantasy nugget here. I know some people who follow these draft guys, they say, follow the money, and they look at people's salaries, and that's how they draft these guys. Well, I have a secret for you guys. The second least paid running back on the 49ers roster may be one of the bigger guys that pick up in fantasy for the 49ers. Jerick McKinnon. Looks like he is back, the former Viking. He looks like he is finally healthy, and everything that I'm hearing from him is his speed, his pass catching, and even his ability to block. It's going to be hard for these other guys, even Raheem Mostert and Tevin Coleman, to get him off the field.
Wow. So there's a sleeper for you here. I wasn't even thinking about him this year because I don't like the 49ers. They spread the ball around. I like those true workhorse running backs, especially I go top heavy in my drafts. So I've got my Barkley, I've got my Gurley, got my Johnson, I got all these guys that are going to get that guaranteed workload. But yeah, there's a sleeper for you. We appreciate it, Mike. Thank you.
Problem. You guys be safe.
All right, thank you. Well, okay, let's move on here to Dan Mitchell and the Bills. So we're going again west all the way to the northeast with the Buffalo Bills. What's going on in Buffalo?
Yes, sir. What's going on, Joe?
I always rip on. I rip on your
division.
division.
News, just to break the Bills community, was we ended up locking down the best cornerback in the entire league yesterday, and Trey White. We signed him for an additional 4 years. I believe it was worth $81.2 million. He has the most guaranteed money out of any cornerback right now, sitting at 55. So glad that we were able to lock him in, especially since he was considering opting out. There's definitely rumors going around that that's why he did play, because he knew that he was going to be signing that ridiculous contract. And then afterwards, man, we ended up finalizing our 53. We had a couple surprise cuts, man. We ended up cutting a Pro Bowl kick returner in Andre Roberts. Now, I do believe that we're just trying to restructure his deal. He may be getting signed again later this afternoon once we move some guys over to IR. But as far as cuts, man, it was relatively predictable.
All right, I got to ask you, this is very important for fantasy relevant. And look at me getting my fantasy fix with all you ambassadors taking advantage of your knowledge here. All right, so I'm hearing a lot that maybe this is a rumor. This is what I heard. I don't follow the Bills. Singletary fumbling issues, Zach Moss stepping up. Is there a chance that Zach Moss gets the bulk of the workload and becomes the workhorse there? What's the deal? How good is Zach Moss? Is this happening? Is Singletary taking a step down?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely interesting. Last year, Singletary, he had a couple of fumbles. I wouldn't necessarily call it a ball security issue, at least not in game time. I wouldn't be able to speak on what happens during practice. There's a lot of rumors going around with Zach Moss, man. There's rumors that, we drafted him because we see him as our RB1, or we're just going to, sort of sit down and focus on that running back by committee strategy. Say that Zach Moss does become our RB1. I wouldn't see that happening at least midway through the season. I still think Singletary is going to be the guy, and it's his job until he loses it.
But he is. I've been to camp. I went to camp last year. I wish, because I live near the area in Buffalo. I would have liked to see, more Singletary be the guy, but he's a little undersized. He's really, really small. He's a small dude.
Oh yeah, he is. He's 5'7".
He's tiny, because I saw him standing beside McCoy last year, and it was like his little brother or something like that, or he was like a little kid. He's tiny, man. So, yeah, they need Zach Moss. And around the goal line, I imagine Zach's going to get all that work for sure to start, and then maybe level up, or no, step up from there?
Yeah, for sure, man. Like I said, probably initially we're going to slowly introduce him into the entire NFL playing style by slowly starting to increase his production. He's going to start off as that goal line back. So, I mean, for you fantasy owners out there, say that you ever have, like one of your starting running backs on a bye week, it's probably a pretty good flex option to be able to go on ahead and throw in there. I mean, I wouldn't, definitely wouldn't draft him in like the third or the fourth round, but I mean, you'd definitely be able to see him like in the later rounds.
Thank you.
Fantasy drafts coming up.
We appreciate Dan, as always, fan-to-fan analyst for the Buffalo Bills, one of the best out there in the industry. All right, let's move over here. We're going to go way back. We're going to go west again. Let's go with Trent here with the Rams talk. Me and him were talking off the record here, and I'm excited about Cam Akers, but what's going on with that offense, man? Give us a couple minutes here.
Well, the biggest news coming out of Rams camp since the cuts is the kicker.
Really?
So a lot of things are kind of how everyone expected them to go, but they drafted a guy in the 7th round, Sam Sloman, out of Miami of Ohio. He was definitely not the guy Rams fans were thinking would win the job, but apparently he came on late in training camp and snagged it. So it kind of surprised everyone. I think if all things are equal, you go with the draft pick. So that was kind of a shocker to Rams fans. In things that weren't a shocker, though, or were also a shocker, is that Clay Johnston. If you guys are watching Hard Knocks, the guy in the Rams that like grew up with Brett Favre, he was cut, and he was a 7th round pick out of Baylor. And then Dante Deon, the guy, the guy with the big personality, the defensive back, Dante Deon, he was also cut. So hopefully they'll sign those guys at the practice squad. Rams have 3 undrafted free agents that made the cut. They only have 52 players on the roster because they'll probably sign someone else because one of their starting inside linebackers, Traven Howard, was lost for the season. So they'll be looking to do that. One other injury note, Terrell Lewis, a 3rd round pick out of Alabama, is having mysterious knee issues, shades of Todd Gurley. And he's been ruled out for week 1 against Dallas to go to the running back situation. Sean McVay said yesterday in regards to Darrell Henderson, he saw Darrell Henderson just working out on the side, and he said, definitely not ruling him out by any stretch for week 1. So that's just, I'd say wait till Wednesday when teams have to release their official injury reports and see where Darrell Henderson is listed on that. But you can rest assured the guy for the Rams that will get the first down or the first drive, if you will be Malcolm Brown. It's like the obligatory, you're the veteran, past pro, here you go. We feel good with you. He got a lot of run last year, week 1 against the Panthers when Todd Gurley was there too. So he'll get like the early game work, but Cam Akers will get fed, I believe, as the game goes on. So it's going to be the Malcolm Brown, Cam Akers show in week 1.
I don't like that, man. Years to wow us, we're not wowed. I mean, you can't start with Malcolm Brown. I mean, come on, man. Like, second fiddle to Gurley all those years. He's not your solution. Like, you can't.
No, he's not the solution, but he's old faithful, old reliable.
Right.
What he and Todd Gurley both did that were great was pass pro. Like, they were taking on linebackers all day. So, like Goff will just feel better, at least for the first drive. And I think it's also going to be maybe a little bit like it helps Akers get over the jitters.
Good point.
Like the game starts, get a couple drives, get done, and then get in there and do your thing. So
very good point.
It's just formality.
Yes, very good point. I appreciate it. Anything else we need to be aware of with the Rams?
The rest of the offense is just kind of how we think it is. They're carrying 10 offensive linemen, which is kind of weird. And they did keep Jachai Polite. If anyone's like a mock draft guy from like 2 years ago out of Florida, he was drafted in the 3rd round by the Jets. They cut him last year in the preseason cuts, and the Rams signed him, and now he's on the 53. So other than that, Rams are looking good for their Super Bowl run.
All right, Trent, we appreciate it, man. Fan-to-fan ambassador for the Rams, locking it down. Thank you, Trent, as per usual. We appreciate you for being on. Let's move on to the Washington football team here. We see Ed Oliver here. Man, I should have started off with you, but next time we'll start off with you. A lot of things going on with the football team, man. What is happening now? What do we want to talk about?
I see the thumbnail. You got Antonio Gibson in the thumbnail.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. I heard he's shooting up fantasy drafts right now because he's going to get a lot of touches. I'm still in shock about Adrian Peterson a little bit. He's on the Lions now. I couldn't believe it when I got the notification, but then I sat back and thought about it. Ron wants young guys, and Antonio Gibson. Ron Rivera wants the team to be like the Panthers with Christian McCaffrey, and Gibson can catch the ball out of the backfield. And he's pretty quick. He's strong. He's 6 feet, like 220 pounds. He's built like a linebacker at the running back position. He's super explosive. So he should be really good this year. We got J.D. McKissick too. So that's another receiving / running back type guy. Reuben Foster was placed on injury reserve, the guy out of Alabama. He's pretty popular, big linebacker. Had a terrible knee injury in 2018. So he's on season-ending injured reserve. And then hopefully we can try to re-sign him next year. He would have been a good linebacker for us this year if he was healthy. Alex Smith did make the roster. He's the 3rd string quarterback. Ron Rivera did say if things get bad week 1, which I think we're going to beat the Eagles. If things get bad with Haskins or whoever, then he wouldn't be scared to play Alex Smith week 1. I wouldn't play Alex Smith personally, but Ron Rivera's not scared to play him. Other big cuts was Sean Davis, the safety. We cut Cam Sims, wide receiver, and Trey Quinn. There's a guy named Isaiah Wright out of Temple who's pretty speedy, athletic type punt returner kind of guy. So wide receivers looking thin. Terry McLaurin is a beast. As I always say, and Chase Young is a beast. He's been looking good in practice. We might pick up some guys off of waiver wires today. Maybe Sidney Jones, who was cut by the Eagles, a cornerback. Might pick up a wide receiver, Hakeem Butler, who went to Iowa State. He was cut by the Cardinals. We might pick him up today off waivers, so we'll see what happens today.
So if you were to pick McLaurin, who's I think I kind of know the answer to this one. Rapport-wise, McLaurin has the best rapport with Haskins over Smith, right? It'd be advantageous for McLaurin from a fantasy perspective to stay with Haskins over Smith, correct?
Oh yeah. They got that Ohio State connection. They did a great job together at Ohio State. They had good games last year against the Eagles and against the Giants, so their chemistry is going up. It's shooting out the roof right now. So I would definitely think McLaurin can get 1,000 yards this season. In
a couple sentences, putting you on the spot here, and stat line and in a couple sentences, how good is Antonio Gibson? That's the first question. How good is Gibson? And my second question, projected stat line, attempts, yardage, receptions, touchdowns. How good is he, and what do you project from him in regards to volume and points?
I'm thinking about 700 yards rushing because he only ran the ball 33 times in college as a senior. So he's still really learning, but he's going to get a lot of touches. I don't know how many he's going to get a lot. And he'll probably get over 500 yards receiving too. That's what I'm thinking. Wow. They really want him to be like Christian McCaffrey, like get the ball first down, second down, third. He's going to be playing everywhere. So he's going to get a lot of touches, probably at least I would say at least 500 yards receiving, and then probably 800 yards, 700 yards rushing.
Is Bryce Love the better runner, right?
I think he's more of a solid running back. He'd probably be a better like first and second down running back, but they're saying that his health isn't the same as it was. I'm not expecting his health to be the same as it was in 2018, but they're saying that he's ready to play, but he still has to get that rhythm down. And I think preseason definitely would have helped. So not having preseason kind of hurt Bryce Love a little bit. We didn't really get to see. I think he would have had a couple good preseason games.
Right, man. Well, we appreciate it, man. Washington football team always up to their antics and doing something crazy over there. Yeah. Thanks, Ed. He's our Washington ambassador at fan2fannetwork.com. Thanks, as per usual. All right, let's get Faizan here. We're talking Bears, and we got Titans and Lions and Seahawks left here for you guys. So, Faizan, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Joe?
Excited to hear what's going on with the Bears. Is Montgomery playing week one? I'm not holding back here. Is he playing?
We actually still don't know. And here's the thing I'll tell you. I think I would lean towards him playing more so than not playing. And the reason I say that is because they didn't sign anybody. They could have signed Leonard Fournette. They didn't sign him.
Right.
Devontae Freeman's still out there. They didn't sign him. And they actually cut a running back just recently, Artavius Pierce, who people thought would have made the roster. So now you just have Tariq Cohen, Ryan Nall, receiver turned running back Cordero Patterson as your only running backs on the roster behind David Montgomery.
They believe in him.
If I had to, no, I don't. And so if I think I had to bet, I'd say David Montgomery probably is a go for week one.
Yeah, I mean, I think they 100% believe in David Montgomery. I believe in David Montgomery, but does Nagy believe in David Montgomery? I hope he does. I really do. Anything else we need to know from Bears camp, news, notes, injuries, anything else?
Yeah, I mean, the big news is I don't want to gloat here, but Mitch Trubisky has won the starting job. So I did say that. I've been telling everybody this entire offseason that he would win. And they haven't come out and officially said it, but we have confirmation from reporters and whatnot that Trubisky will win the starting job. And I'm excited because I think they made the right call.
I called
Nick
it.
Foles is
I called
great
it.
as a backup. Yeah, Nick Foles is great as a backup. So if Trubisky doesn't play well, and then this is the thing I want everybody to know: just because Mitch Trubisky won the starting job doesn't mean he's going to keep it. He still has to prove and play well. So if he does not play well, you've got the backup in Nick Foles. So yeah, I'm happy about that, and that's been the biggest news for sure.
We talked about this. We talked about it. You can't bench your starter. It's just going to lower his self-esteem, and it's going to be issues. And then you've got Mr. Safe and Reliable in the background that you can plug and play anytime. You go with the upside guy. You give him the confidence. If he wins 3 games, you keep him going. If he loses 3 games, you put him on the bench. Pretty common sense there.
Great day.
All right, man. Faizan, as per usual, our Bears ambassador, Fan to Fan Network. As per always, we'll see you soon, man. Thank you. And we are almost there. Fantasy football and reality coming soon. All right, let's move on here to Titan Upload here, who's been waiting. My man, Derrick Henry. How's Derrick Henry doing? That's all I care about.
Well, the Titans did keep 3 running backs, and one of them is a fullback in Blasingame. So Evans has missed. He finally came back to practice, the backup running back, the rookie from App State, but he's missed 7 practices in the last week. So are the Titans telling you, Joe, right up front, they're going to be rolling heavy with Derrick Henry? I mean, I don't like that. I want them to pace him, but maybe early on you're going to see more Henry than usual to get off to a good start.
Yes. I love me some Henry. Any roster cuts, anything we need to be aware of?
Oh, we got a lot to be aware of, Joe. I mean, I thought you were going to save the best for last here, but Nordcam maybe can talk about it a little bit too, but Jadeveon Clowney finally signs, or is going to be signing with the Tennessee Titans.
Huge.
I mean, it's electric down here in Nashville. I mean, everybody is really thinking maybe, just maybe, the Tennessee Titans might have enough now to beat the Chiefs again, I should say, and make it to the Super Bowl. So we're ecstatic, and it's about time. But I mean, we got him for up to $15 million for 1 year. We'll take that to the bank and run with it every day. Every day of the week.
My question is, and I'm high on him in fantasy, but is Ryan Tannehill the solution here? And can he, I could see him taking the playoffs, but is he the guy to get it done? That's the big suspect question in that offense. Do you think so?
I do. And I think he proved it. 4th highest passer rating of all time. I mean, all time last year. I mean, a lot of the critics will say he had a short amount of time in there.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. We were a dumpster fire after losing 16-0, with Marcus Mariota there. That's why I think the Bears, just going off on them real quick, I'm not buying the whole Trubisky thing. That's just a matter of time before Foles, because you can go back and look at the Titans. Did the same thing last year. That was something that we were going to do from the beginning. It just took some time to get to that point. So again, Ryan Tannehill is going to be relying on, obviously, AJ Brown. But if you're going to take away AJ Brown, you got it. This guy, I'm just surprised it's taken this long. But Corey Davis, it's going to be the year for Corey Davis, Joe. The number 2 on our team, 5th overall pick a few years ago.
I've been hearing this for years, and
it's make or break, though, man. It's make or break, and they haven't thrown him the ball. That's the thing. He's a 50-50 guy. Look what he did to the Patriots against Gilmore that one. The Patriots had no idea they were going to go after their top corner, and they used Corey Davis with Mariota. I mean, it's there. It's just you gotta keep feeding him. But there's a lot of mouths to feed on the Titans with Henry getting bulk of the carries.
Yeah, man. Well, appreciate you, Mark, as per usual, man. Anything else we need, or does that cover up the Titans for now?
Backup quarterback's going to be the big concern going forward, and look for this name too. I'm not sure if he's healthy. Lamar Miller, with relying on a backup who's missed 7 in a row for a rookie running back behind Derrick Henry. Maybe the Titans should go out and get Lamar Miller. So that's maybe a name to keep an eye on.
For sure. Well, thanks, Mark. We appreciate it. Fan to Fan ambassador for the Titans, and tighten up. Let's do it.
Tighten up, Joe.
All right, let's get on our ambassador for the Lions. He was waiting patiently here. Save the best for last because we got to talk Galladay. Anything going on, dose of Dion?
Yeah, man. I think it's been brought up a few times, but definitely the Adrian Peterson move this morning. Yeah, I know you're a big fantasy guy, so I would say this, Joe, just stay away from every single running back.
Yeah.
I would just say that. We're definitely a running back by committee at this point, or the definition of that. We have 5 running backs. We only kept 4 last year, so we're really deep at that position. Yeah, so I would just stay away from all the running backs. It's going to be fun to watch, but I'm not too surprised they made this move either. I mean, Darrell Bevel was there when he was drafted into the league. Now he's our offensive coordinator, so it makes sense that they want to, get a whole bunch of running backs in there. That's what Darrell Bevel does everywhere he goes. He just wants to run the football. I guess I say some of the main cuts that we've had. Jason Huntley was a surprise. He was a running back that we drafted this year in the 5th round. A lot of fans definitely upset about that, but the weird practice rules, the different practice squad rules, players that can be protected, things like that. So I think he may be one of those guys. And they also cut their 3rd-string quarterback, David Blau, who stepped in last year, started in a few games because we just couldn't stay healthy. So a couple of surprise cuts, I would say, but that really it. Honestly, I mean, we cut one of our tight ends, so we currently have 2 that are healthy and 1 that's injured as an undrafted free agent. So that's really cool that he made it. But that's really the main news right now.
Your bandwidth is low there. We almost lost you for a second. Yeah, so I'm staying away from all of your tight ends. Or sorry, from not your tight ends, your running backs this year. It's a bit of a committee. Staying away there. And Peterson coming into buzzkill. 100% staying away from that. Thank you. But I still love me some Galladay. Love Galladay. all day.
Yeah, you should. I love Galladay too.
All right, man. Thanks. Appreciate it, Troy. We appreciate it. And we're going to end this off with Seahawks. What's going on? Thank you, Troy. What's going on, Seahawks? Norbcam.
Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? What's up, 12s? Go Hawks. Well, Titan Upload sort of talked about it already, but I'm kind of pissed. I'm a little annoyed about the whole Clowney thing because that whole Clowney saga was like a really long movie with a really crappy ending. He made a liar out of me. I kept telling everybody, hey, just wait to the end. He's going to be back with us. And that just didn't happen. So what sucks really about that is that we all felt as Seahawks fans that we just needed one name pass rusher, that if we didn't get Clowney, well, we'll pick up Griffin or we'll pick up Ngakwe. Well, none of those three things happened. So what did the Seahawks do? Nothing in free agency really in terms of big moves for pass rush. We did go out and get a guy in the draft, second round, Darrell Taylor, but he starts out with a non-football injury list, going to miss at least 6 weeks. So it's going to be up to these guys like Bruce Irvin, Benson Mayowa, and all the second-year guys and other guys who are on the team already to get the pass rush. So that's probably one of the biggest concerns from the Seattle standpoint. But that was a little bit of a bummer I thought it was going to happen. It just never did.
Right. Anything else we need to know about the offense? How are they looking? Metcalf, Gordon's there, right? How's Gordon going to get any work? Wide receiver.
Gordon has been signed. He just hasn't officially been taken off the NFL suspension list. I think it will happen very soon. So he's not officially on the roster. So right now we have 6 receivers, but I think that's going to change once Gordon is available. So I do believe he will get some work. It'll probably take a little time to get him worked into the system since he hasn't been there. But expect great things out of DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett is going to be solid as usual with Philip Dorsett. I think is going to add a nice complementary third receiver there with a lot of speed. So I think a lot of great things coming out of the receiving side. Probably the biggest disappointment, just sort of as a fan favorite, Shaquille and Shaquem Griffin, the two brothers who were on the team.
Right.
Shaquem Griffin, the linebacker, was released yesterday. A lot of people were sad to see him go, but with all the linebackers we got right now between Bobby, KJ, and picking up our first rounder, what's his name? Just blanking on his name real quick, but
it's all good.
Jordan Brooks, tearing it up. So he had to go. He's a casualty, unfortunately, but he might clear waivers and get back on the practice squad. But I know a lot of Seahawks fans were disappointed with Shaquem Griffin not going. So Paul Richardson, who we picked up from the Washington football team, was here for about half a second, and then they released him. So I think once Josh Gordon became available, Paul Richardson was gone. And probably the last bit of news on the offensive line, which has been shuffling around a bit. At one point, they brought Justin Britt back in, who they released earlier in the year because of money situations. They brought him back in. Looks like they didn't do anything with that. So it looks like Ethan Posick will be the starting center for Seattle at this point. And that's pretty much it. Otherwise, the rest is what we expect from the running backs, the quarterbacks, tight ends. We're looking really good there. And of course, our secondary looking awesome with Quentin Dunbar, Shaquille Griffin, and of course, our safeties, Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs, really loving the secondary. So everything else is pretty much as expected.
Well, thanks, Norb. We appreciate it, man. Seahawks ambassador, Fan to Fan Network. And that wraps it up, guys. That is it for our virtual tailgate Sunday morning. Make sure you guys subscribe, smash the thumbs up, and leave some questions below. Some of the ambassadors might come through, and check the comments. And of course, guys, make sure you guys go to fantofannetwork.com for all your latest news and notes from the top ambassadors here on YouTube for pro football. Thanks, guys, for being here. And football's almost here. I'm beyond excited. A lot of great insight today, and we appreciate your time. Thank you. We're out.